Hey, it's Pete. I'm in Jackson Hole today, and I'm hanging out with a good friend of mine, Mike Zusman. And Mike is the founder of Carve Systems, a security consultancy. And Mike's a pretty well-known security researcher in his own right. So um, we actually rode some powder today, hit the mountain, and decided why not squeeze in a geek talk. So thanks for sitting down and chatting.
No,
And
happy to be here. Thanks.
yeah, we have an interesting topic lined up. Mike's gonna refresh himself a little bit as we're talking, and actually, we even have a little fireplace action, so make it a little cozier in here.
For the true mountain vibe.
Yeah, totally. Why not do something different, right? So we want to talk today about mobile application security and what you can do to secure your mobile apps. If you're a developer, how should you be thinking about security in terms of mobile devices and mobile applications? What are some best practices? What are some architectural issues? What are the main things that you should be worried about and concerned about as you're building and architecting your application? So Mike, your background is as a programmer, as a sometime one-time hacker, as a security
Sure.
consultant. Just fill us in a little bit and tell us how you got interested in mobile security in the first place.
A long, long time ago, I was an application developer myself. I was programming on the Microsoft web technology, so classic ASP, COM, Visual C++ back in the day, around up until about 2004 when I made kind of a little shift in my career and I went to work for an SSL VPN application firewall vendor. And that's where I started to focus a little bit more on breaking applications. And having been someone who had written both secure and insecure applications, I took to it pretty easily. Coming out of working for this app firewall vendor, I went into more of a pure, corporate AppSec role and lasted there a little bit before I just kind of went full on into AppSec consulting and, being a breaker and someone who helps fix security vulnerabilities.
And you've spoken at conferences
Yeah,
as
I've
well,
spoken at
right?
Black Hat and DEF CON and CanSec West.
What's the most basic thing that a software engineer should realize when they're approaching mobile application security? How is mobile app security fundamentally different than regular web app security, for instance?
So when you're creating a web application, we kind of have a little bit of a walled garden mentality. We can put comments in our code and we can, do sloppy things because we don't have time to do them properly and they sit on our web server. And as long as that web server doesn't get hacked or compromised, our dirty secrets are somewhat safe. But when you're writing a mobile application, it's similar to writing off-the-shelf software that's going to be in a retail box or that you're going to get on a DVD. The software is going to be in someone's hands. They're going to have the ability to reverse engineer it and figure out how you wrote it and see that, okay, maybe you architected it and implemented it properly, or you made some mistakes with regards to security and privacy.
And not to mention the fact that they have control of the physical device as well,
Right.
Which physical security is sometimes an overlooked aspect of computer security in general, but most computer security professionals know that if you get access to the physical device, in most scenarios, it's pretty much game over.
Sure, and we have that same problem with laptops, but with laptops we have additional controls. We have full disk crypto and things like that, and we have access control. We have domain policies, and there's a lot of hardening that can be done to a corporate device or even a personal device, a personal laptop. That if you happen to lose it, your risk is somewhat controlled. But with these mobile devices, they're not as mature. We don't have a lot of the controls and the ability to harden or lock down these devices as we do with a laptop. So if you're writing an application that deals with potentially sensitive data like credit card data or even just email, how you store that data on the device becomes very important. If that device is lost or stolen or even jailbroken now, now that we're developing on these sort of these sandboxed environments on the mobile devices, there's sometimes an air of, okay, well, the OS is going to handle this
Mm-hmm.
stuff, so we don't need to worry about it as developers. But once a user jailbreaks their device, a lot of that security is removed.
Mm-hmm.
So now your application is in a far more hostile environment than you originally thought it
Mm-hmm.
expected it to be.